Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Usually we have a little review in the beginning of our last video, because our next video will use much of the information that we talked about before. So what did we talk about before? A powerful truth, difficult to understand from our programming in the illusion. I only exist because of you. Oh, and I'll reference that other video up here. And I've added a few things that will not be in the original video. So I'm going to go through them a little bit. We talked about out here, all these colors represent the infinite field of everything that we are embedded in. And out of that field, we extract information through our senses. And that's what this lens of perception represents. Now, in this lens of perception, we're getting information, and then we are filtering it, we are sorting it, we are manipulating it to get on the secondary side of this lens a high-graded input that matches our belief system. So what is on, like any lens, what is on the secondary is not what is coming on the primary. So we're dropping out a lot of information because everything is out here. Our senses are not designed to pick up everything. They're designed for specific wavelengths of energy, vibration, sound, all kinds of stuff. But it won't pick up everything because our senses are not that good. And a lot of our pets and animals have much keener senses than we do. We don't have that good. That's why we started to domesticate wolves, because we couldn't hear as well as them, and we used them to be our instrument for extending our sound. Now that's a caveat. So you have this here, and out of this secondary side, you make your world. And it's the only world. It's the only world there is. There's no other world. As we pointed out before, there is only one world, and it's the one you create. Now, if we look real close here, you'll see I added some stuff up above, and that is input and the processing of the input by the subconscious mind. Now, the input data comes inside of us from the senses at millions of bits of data per second. Most of it is visual. The subconscious mind operates, processes that incoming information at around 400 billion bits of data per second. So it is so fast. It is so fast. It is faster than you can imagine. So now we have the conscious mind. And the conscious mind, after you make your world through your belief system and the processing of the subconscious mind, you make your world in here, and then your conscious mind absorbs this inside world. Your conscious mind operates at 100 bits per second. The conscious mind is a billion times slower than your subconscious mind. And then the conscious mind, which is slow, takes this inside world and projects it onto here. Why would it do that? Well, because it's your belief system. You believe there's an outside reality, an outside world. And so this part of you, when you make your inside world, moves it onto the outside infinite field of everything, and you believe, because that's your belief system, that there's an outside world. Isn't that nice? So, of course there isn't. It's only energy out here. But it doesn't matter if this is only energy. If you believe that this inside world is out here, the truth doesn't matter. You're driven by your belief system. I remember I had a comment from a person once. He asked this very technical question. And then he added, "Please don't tell me it's my belief system." And of course it was. And when he changed his beliefs, when you change your beliefs, you change your perception of lens changes, you change your world. Now, I'm in the world. I'm in your world because I am out here in the infinite field of everything. You're taking in information. You are creating your world. And in that process of creating your world, you create me. And all I am is your creation. You can see nothing else of me. You can experience nothing else of me except your creation. I only exist in the only world there is because of you. Interesting. And that's what we talked about last time. And now, we're going to talk about a lot of the same stuff, but a little bit different now. And this is our subject for today. And here's what it is. Can you be anything but an energy being? Can you be anything but an energy being? Well, we're starting out with this infinite energy field out here, and you see we've maintained this number one world that represents you and me inside your world where you create me, and it's the only me there is. Now, we also have up here, you see, your senses are pretty easy to check how fast they operate. And you can find all your senses operate at slightly different processing speeds. But the amount of data altogether is around 11 billion bits per second when they're all working. And you're processing it in the subconscious mind at around 400 billion. So you have more than enough power in the subconscious mind to take all of the input and still run the body, because 95% of the time it's the subconscious mind that's in control and operating all the functions that you think are your body. And so that's what this is still part of the original diagram from last week. Now, I wanted to stress again, and I went on Google, one of my favorite places. I went on Google and said to Google, is everything energy? And it's in the description where you can look. And of course it comes through AI now, so AI talks or writes, and AI says, yes, scientifically, everything is energy. Doesn't look that way in the egoic world because we think there's matter. Oh, and by the way, we haven't ever found any matter. So if you're looking for matter to represent you, you're going to have a hard time finding it. Why? Everything is energy. So as you stand out here in relationship to this world, you're an energy being. Now, on some spiritual levels, we always knew that. But, you know, physically we say, well, no, we're real people. But you can't find that physicalness anyplace. So this model over here operates the same over there. In other words, there is a lens of perception that this next world has. And it is taking in information through this infinite field that you're embedded in, that you're an energy being in. And that energy is radiating, and your senses are picking up that information. You are filtering it through your lens of perception, and you are creating this world in here. And then you're projecting it out here. And you're believing that this world, which is way over there, is here. Because we think there is a reality, an outside world. We're creating it here. I'm creating that other person, or you, for me, in here, but it's in neither place. It's in neither place. Everything is in the infinite field of everything. And so we are energy beings. At our essence, we are energy beings in an energy system. And we are, because of our egoic belief system, we have been programmed to believe that there is an outside reality, the one world, which is only energy. There is no world here. Here is a world, and it's the one that I create. Here is a world, and it's the one you create. And we communicate through this information, through this field, because this is where we're at. Oh, how difficult is that to understand? And as I look at you through this process, what will you look like, you energy being you? What will you look like in my world? Because of my programming. You'll look like a human being. You won't look like an energy being from here. You will look like a human being. Why? That's your programming. That's the egoic belief system. Now, there are reasons why that happens. But the point is, it happens. It happens to make it easy for us to communicate with each other, because this is what we think we are. We can't imagine what we would be as an energy being in this energy field. We only know this. So, in my world, you exist here and not as an energy being. And I exist for you over here, not as an energy being, but you will construct me because of your belief system into a human being. And we will do all kinds of stuff, but we will not recognize that we're energy beings in an energy system. So that is difficult. I'm not saying it's easy to understand, because we've been programmed, we as human beings have been programmed for eons of time for our survival to recognize our human faculties and not recognize that we are energy beings here. So we communicate through this medium of the infinite field. And we take information in and we manipulate it and we make it fit our belief system. So, everything is an interpretation of the mind. And that's what this is. This world is an interpretation of the mind. In this case, based upon my belief system, and in this case, based upon your belief system or your perceptual filter, your perception. So that's what was going on here. You are so much different than you think you are. And so we live in this chaos and call it reality. And but nobody can find reality either. We've been looking for many, many years, eons of years, and we haven't found reality yet. But in the egoic world, they say, oh, we're just about ready. We're about 35 minutes away from finding reality out here. Well, they've been saying that for a couple thousand years. And it's not here. So there's no reality in the illusion. So now let's take a look and see what A Course in Miracles says. And you'll see it up here. I was going to tell you. I'm having a little green tea today. And it might not look like it because I'm very smooth in my presentations. But before I give the presentation, I stand here in my little studio, I walk up and down saying, what if they don't understand it? What if they think I'm nuts? What if they, am I going to remember all the points I want to make? Oh, and I talk myself up into a frazzle. And then I start talking, and by the time it's over, I won't remember what I said. I'll have to look at the video to see what I said. So, this is what it's, oh, here's this thing about energy. So I asked Google, I said, is everything energy? And it comes back, and you'll see in the description, you can look it up. Yes, in scientific terms, everything is energy. Oh no, it's got to be real. It's got to be, because I can touch a whiteboard and I can walk on a hard floor and I got a nice shirt on today. No, it's just not energy. It's stuff made out of energy. You might. I had another video a short time ago, and I'll reference it up here. And it was called, "What Are Sandcastles Made Of?" And you might think about this, because what are you made of? Energy. What are sandcastles made of? Sand. That's all you got. All you have is energy. And you must be made out of this stuff, because that's all there is. Now let's see what the Course has to say. And this is what it says. And you'll see it up here. It is difficult for the untrained mind to believe that what is seems to picture is not there. It is difficult for the untrained mind to believe that what it seems to picture is not there. This idea can be quite disturbing and may meet with active resistance in any number of forms. Because basically what I'm saying is, you're not seeing what's there. You're seeing what you believe is there. You're seeing what you believe is there because you've been programmed for many years, since birth, in this egoic system. And so now, for me to come along and say, well, you got to look at it another way, because that doesn't make sense. We've been operating this way for a long time. We haven't found reality. We haven't found matter. The only thing we found is sand, because that's what we're made out of. Oh. The egoic world seems so solid and permanent and impregnable. But it's an illusion. And when you scratch the surface and begin to question it, like Buddha. Buddha says, question everything. Oh no, I believe, I'm not going to question my beliefs. That's what I believe, and I know that's the real world. So I'm not going to question that. And who is this guy coming up and saying, oh, you should question your belief in the egoic world, and that there's an outside reality? Well, because I believe there is. Even though I can't find it, can't touch it, can't see it with my senses, can't find it, but I know it must be there, only because of your programming. It's time for you to change your vision. It's time for you to recognize you can have the world that you want. You know, this is the same model I use in manifesting. Why? Because in manifesting, you believe everything that you want is out here in the universe or in the infinite field. And when you do your hocus pocus with your vision boards and your other techniques, what's out here, which is everything, is going to give you what you want. Well, if it wasn't here, you couldn't get it. So underneath manifesting is the belief everything is here in this infinite field of everything. Except it's disguised in your mind as the manifesting process. You say, oh no, I'm just manifesting what I want. But everything is here. You can't get what you want because there are 7 billion people on the planet. And all they want, all the different things they want are here. Now, it's not everything. 7 billion isn't everything. But I want you to get the idea that it's all here. Unmanifested. Unmanifested. And what makes the world here? This is manifested. So you have manifested the world that you have. And how did you do that? You did it out of this infinite field. Through this process. And your belief system. And everybody has a different belief system. A different experience with life. And so they're going to have a different world. But this world is the only world there is. This is where you live. This is where you operate. This is where you make things. This is where you have arguments with other people. This is where you love other people. This is this is the only world. You might imagine many other worlds, but the only way you can imagine them is if you take the information in and filter it and move it through your belief system, and then you will have other worlds, other people here. But this is the only world. That is so difficult to understand. And so, you're picturing what isn't here and believing it. And when you do that, this is the only world there is. You want another world? You got to change your filter. You want something out of here that's already here, that's already here waiting for you? You got to change your filter. You are right. It's here to manifest. But in order to get it from here to here, you got to change your filter. Which means you have to do something. This is very intelligent. This is consciousness. This is everything. And everything is there for you. But you got to change your vision in order to get it. And what should be your greatest goal? To be happy in your life. Oh, this is an illusion. So be good to yourself. Until we see you again with another interesting